Crime isn't a common topic here on the 208, but sometimes we like to look at trends like data and numbers. And sometimes those two things, trends and crime, cross paths. For a few years now, catalytic converter thefts have made a lot of noise, pun intended. Here's a look at numbers from the Boise Police Department. This is just from Boise alone, by the way. From just 12 reports of catalytic converter thefts in 2019, we've jumped up to 160 of those reports in 2022. Roughly estimating the crime doubles every year, as you can see the reports there from 2019 to 2022. We all know why. The metals in these things are expensive and they hold a high resale value. But is anyone trying to do anything about it? Who's going to stop this other than police trying to? The answer is yes. Republican Representative Vito Barbieri wants scrap metal businesses to document who is selling them catalytic converters and any of the metals that they find inside. Here's Andrew Barline.
A steady drip of business keeps Boise Muffler around for generations.
Family business since '85.
But it's a new wave of customers that's gotten Sean Page's attention.
So this is a catalytic converter off of an old Toyota pickup.
It cleans exhaust and quiets the car, but they've made a lot of noise recently.
1-2 calls every couple of days.
And that's not normal.
No, from what Boise used to be, a couple of years back, catalytic converter theft wasn't a thing. So it's been just this last couple of years that it came about and has really kind of taken off.
Because the price of the metals inside
That would be the brick in a catalytic converter.
has taken off too.
That's what they're looking for.
And you don't need to look far to find someone on the losing end.
Right.
Curtis Stark owns Boise Bistro just across the street. And Curtis knows about catalytic converter thefts because he's had his
Over the course of the couple of years, I've probably spent
stolen
almost $1,000 just
twice.
getting the parts replaced on it.
Orange spray paint and welded license plate and phone numbers can warn buyers and recyclers.
So you want something that's just going to make somebody think twice.
Even shields can be installed under the car. It's part of Boise Muffler's solution to thefts.
You're just trying to keep people honest is all you're doing.
It's the new reality of his business, and that's becoming the state legislature's business through the House Business Committee.
You know, they come in with 10 catalytic converters, at least we have the data to know who brought that material to them.
Representative Vito Barbieri sponsors House Bill 142 to amend the Idaho Scrap Dealers Act. It would add catalytic converters and the metals inside to the list of metals scrap metal businesses need to document. A secondhand catalytic converter seller would have to give their ID, license plate, name, and address.
It acts like a little bit of a deterrent.
And it's welcomed by the businesses too. United Metal Recycling tells the 208 in a statement, quote, "We are a proponent of the scrap metal bill, and we feel that by adding catalytic converters to the bill, it will help law enforcement do their job more efficiently and effectively." Because the reality is, it's an underreported crime. Curtis never told police about either of his.
Nothing really ever comes from those situations. It's really it's expensive. It's not something that you put in your budget. So it's just one of those expenses you got to deal with.
Page says it's not good business, but it's business.
You talk about how the valley changes, times change. With growth, you get good and bad, I think is, kind of the nature of the beast.
United Metals Recycling say they like this idea. They already document other materials, and House Bill 142 just adds catalytic converters and the metals inside them to that list. They also say that this would be a valuable tool for police to search through those records, track down someone who is selling stolen metals and catalytic converters. The bill is on the House floor, Brian. It's in general orders, I think's the language. I reached out to Joe today, what that means exactly. He says, from my understanding, that the floor can amend it as a whole. It's kind of an interesting place for a bill to be. I actually hadn't heard that before, so Joe had to explain it to me.
It could look a lot different coming out of the House than it did going into the House, because anybody can throw they could change it completely and rewrite the whole thing if they wanted to. Hopefully that doesn't happen, because it seems like a pretty simple, straightforward bill that does some good.
Directly addresses a problem
that is growing, as we just showed you here in the Treasure Valley. I did not know about the orange spray paint thing, though. That was interesting to me.
Yeah, and then welding phone numbers and license plates, too, just trying to track it back to the owner if it is stolen some way or another.
Somewhere or another. All right. Thank you very much, Andrew.